Let's take a quick tour of Apple Classroom, Apple's powerful teaching assistant to help you manage student devices.
To install the Apple Classroom app, you will first need to open your Mosel Manager. To do so, you can use Spotlight Search, which is the magnifying glass in the upper right-hand corner, or you can tap Command Spacebar to launch Spotlight Search. Then type Manager. Click to open Manager. When the Manager app loads, tap My Apps on the left-hand side. Next, on the right-hand side in the search bar, type Classroom. When you see the one with this orange icon appear, tap Install. Mine says Reinstall because I already have Classroom installed. Next, we need to open Classroom. To do so, I'll use Spotlight Search again. This time, I'll activate it by pressing Command Spacebar, then type Classroom. When Classroom appears in the list, I'll click on it. Here you will see all of the classes that are assigned to you in our student management system. If you don't see any classes, that means that you don't have any classes assigned to you in the student management system. Click on the class that you would like to control. In this case, I'll use my Everyone class. When your students appear, you will notice that it's going to bring in their initials in a colored circle, and if they have an app open on their iPad, you will see that app displayed with a small icon. You will also be able to see any students who have a low battery so that you can let them know they need to go sit by a charger so that they can charge while they work. Next, let's look at the different options that you have for using Apple Classroom. The first option is to open an app. To do so, you're going to click on this Open button at the top of the screen, then select an app from the list. One important thing to note here is that there's an option to lock in the app after opening. This can be especially helpful for when you're working with younger learners or if you're trying to keep students in one specific app for the activity they're participating in. Simply check the Lock in App button, then send them to the app of your choice. When you click on the app, it will automatically launch on all of the iPads. While viewing the app that students are using might be helpful, it may be even more helpful to view their screens. Clicking on the Screens toggle will show you the student's screen. And if you need to see it bigger, you can even press the Command and plus button to zoom in. Now I can see all the details of what each student is doing. To zoom back out, simply hold down your Command button and the minus button. Using this option is one of my favorite ways to share student work on the screen. I can simply Command plus in, then navigate to the student who I would like to share. This eliminates the need for airplaying from the student's device. But if you ever do need to airplay from their device, you can simply click on it and click the airplay button. This can airplay their screen to a local device. The next option in the top menu is the option to open a tab from Safari. This will open your choice of website on the student's devices. One note, though, is that you have to have the website bookmarked first. In order to do this, you can simply navigate through your bookmarks to the website, then click on it, and it will launch automatically on all of your students' devices. If you don't always have the websites that you need to share with students bookmarked, there's another way to do this as well. Let's try it. First, I'll open the Safari app, and yes, in this case, it does have to be Safari. It can't be Chrome yet. When I open Safari, I get the Share Arrow option in the upper right-hand corner. I simply click the Share Arrow, then AirDrop, and you can see that my class is appearing. I can simply tap on my class, and the website will launch on everyone's iPad. When I switch back to Classroom, you can see that the website is now loading on all of the student devices. You can also quickly and easily send a file using Finder. First, click on Finder, then navigate to the file you need to send, and when you've found the file you need to send, click the Share arrow, then select AirDrop. Choose the group from Apple Classroom that you need to AirDrop to. Your students will receive a notification on their screen that their teacher is trying to AirDrop them a file. Note that if you're AirDropping a large file, it might take just a minute for it to send to all of your students. When they receive the notification, they just need to click Accept on their iPad. Once they accept, the file will be automatically opened on their device. The next item is the Dropbox. For this example, I'll share a file from Ellie's iPad. When the airdrop is sent, you'll see a number next to the Dropbox. You can simply click on it to view the files that have been sent. If you want to view the file, you can simply click on it.
And review the file as necessary.
We already talked about the app switcher, so next let's look at the Hide Apps button. When you press on this eye icon, you will notice that it will take your students right back to their home screen. Let's give it a try. You can see that all of my students have now been sent right back to their home screen. This can be great if you need to gather students' attention or start guiding them in a different direction. Next is the option to lock a student's device. When you click on the lock, it will lock all of the students' screens and it will notify them that their iPad has been locked by their teacher. When you're ready to unlock, simply tap the unlock icon and all of the iPads will be unlocked and ready to go. Next is the mute button. If you know you're using a noisy app and you don't want your students to be distracted by the sounds of each other's iPads, you can simply press this button to mute every device in your room. And last is the more options. You can add other students, remove students, or end class. Add and remove students doesn't always work very well because our classes are managed by our student management system. So those ones you probably shouldn't use. If you notice a discrepancy between the students who are in your Apple Classroom, you can talk to your administrative assistant about it, and they can ensure that the student is added to your class within our student management system, which will sync to Apple Classroom overnight. You will also see the select button in the upper right-hand corner. When you tap on select, you can select any number of your students' devices. In this case, I'll grab the family from up so that I can create a small group for them. Next, I'll press the New Group button, which is hiding down in the bottom left-hand corner. Then I'll add a name. When working with this small group, I can perform actions on only their iPads. So for example, if this small group needs to work in the Pages app, I can simply choose to lock them in the app if I would like, and select Pages. You can see that Pages has launched on all of their devices, but when I click back to all students, it's not launched on any of the other students. This can be really helpful when you're managing different groups of students who might be needing to do different activities using their iPads. Last, when you're ready to end class, simply tap on the More options and End Class. This will give you a detailed report of the apps that were used during class. You can see the apps used, and you can also see the items that were shared with you. You can also get a detailed report of what your students did during class. You can even see status bars that indicate at what portion of the class time the student was doing what activity. This can be really helpful if you ever have a student who gets a little off track and needs some redirection or a conversation with a parent. When you're finished, simply click Done and your class will close, taking you back to the main screen of Apple Classroom.
And that's it for our quick tour of Apple Classroom. Remember that this app is most powerfully used when it's not just being used to lock students, it's being used to navigate them through all of your amazing classroom activities.